Welcome back to these guys again. Now on a couch, new venue.
Yes,
we're going up in the world. Now it's your flat, yeah. And as usual, Craig Stewart, my friend here, my podcast live partner, Tom Adam, Swami of Sound, Irvin Cruikshank. Just wave a hand in. Wave a hand in. And then, obviously, this is the Granite City Comic Con, GCCC, GC3, GC Cubed. Is the
I like that.
Yeah, maybe the new name for next year.
See, this is
Thanks for that.
It's a marketing pitch at the same time. And we have Chris Robertson here and Colin Penny, who thank you guys for actually taking time off from your incredibly busy schedule.
Yeah,
just not a problem.
It's incredibly busy.
It is incredibly busy.
If you could just, first off, tell us when, where it will be, and just give us a brief run through. If you have a tagline.
We don't have a tagline as such, but the event itself is the 30th of May at Transition Extreme down at Aberdeen Beach. Doors will be from 9 o'clock and we'll be running right through till sort of
about 5 o'clock, I think
5
it is.
o'clock,
5 o'clock for the main event, and then
we jump across the road to Satrosphere, where we've got our panel event, which the guests from throughout the day will be kind of fielding questions, and that's followed by a screening of Super Fiend.
Yep, and then we've got an awesome after party sorted out now as well.
So if that's
day.
that's not enough for you, you can then head to downstairs on Holborn Street, which we were having our after party, and Darth Elvis are going to be playing.
That's pretty cool.
And do they have to get tickets to the? Well, first of all, no, you don't have to buy tickets. Free.
No,
free
the day event is entirely free. All you need to do is turn up. The evening panel event, unfortunately, is now sold out. That was ticketed. We ticketed in the after party.
Yeah. The after party is
ticketed
£6 pre-booking and £9 on the door. So it's quite a small venue. Darth Elvis are playing as well, so just want to give everyone a chance to get in there and get to see the boys.
Darth Elvis generally sell out when they play in Aberdeen anyway.
Yeah,
as in they sell at the venue. They don't personally sell.
I've got my.
I don't know what they stand for anymore. But I was going to, and also just to say, it is the 1 day. It's a 1 day event.
Yeah,
it's a 1 day event.
You're cramming it all into that 1 day.
Yeah,
one
that's
package.
it. Yeah, one little nugget of awesomeness, and hopefully.
See, there's your tagline.
Yeah. Totally. Actually, not too bad. Yeah.
To be honest, when we kind of first started conceiving of the idea and everything, we didn't really think that we were going to get the reaction that we have done.
No
so
way,
it's really has grown arms and legs since the beginning of the process. So
it's been
in retrospect, a 2 day thing probably would have been a better idea, but we just didn't know at the time.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like when you're planning something like a year in advance, and you're like something that hasn't happened in Aberdeen, you're like, well, we might get like 20 folk turning up, but it's like
20 really dedicated folk.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that would be awesome in itself. Yeah, but with just as soon as we put it on Facebook, we're just like, oh, we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah,
and it was a bit of a mental surprise for ourselves. But so you've got to stick to your guns. You've got to carry on doing what you're doing. Get this one under our belt. We've learned a lot this year.
Yeah.
None of us have done anything like this before. It's a total learning experience for all of us.
Well, just like to say thank you for actually bringing this to Aberdeen and like actually doing
all
this.
good.
It took 5 years to actually do it. Like you say, 5 years of planning. And as well as that, you mentioned it before, but you were talking about the actual reaction that you got from this. It was really like, I remember it just popped up on Facebook and everyone saw it on Facebook, and it was just.
I think we had like 2,000 likes within 24
weekend.
hours.
I was going to say it's really great to see that, as far as like you said, you've realized. Well, everyone's realizing how big the actual community or the actual drive you could get for this in Aberdeen is.
Yeah,
and at the same time, just having that like from the beginning.
Yeah,
and just. Having such a massive swell of people.
When you put that out, if we put it out there, we're all very nervous about putting it out anyway. Didn't know how it was going to be taken. And then when everyone jumps on it, and they're all very positive, and they're all like, really, really pushing you, it's like it gives you more of a boost to actually get off your backside and do something. So
definitely,
it has really helped us as well. So I mean, it's great. Every now and again, you get an email through from someone, just thanking you, just saying thank you so much. Cheers, guys, for like putting this on in Aberdeen that would never be able to get to one otherwise. Brilliant. That's fantastic. So
in terms of like the organisation stuff, so what role? Just like let everyone know what sort of roles do you guys play then?
Yeah.
What's your specialities?
Yeah, which one? Who is the Ben Affleck and who is the Matt Damon of this Good Will Hunting?
Easy.
Remember, one of them had a better career.
Choose your answer wisely, because remember, Ben Affleck is about to be Batman.
Yeah.
He's not as bad as he used to be.
It's a loaded question.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm probably more the comic guy, because I've got like a background in making my own comics and stuff, and going to events as a vendor or a small press sort of creator. I kind of I've met a lot more of kind of the folk in the scene around Scotland. So kind of in the first instance, it was me doing that and me covering the kind of comic book guests and just getting in touch with people. Really. You do all the dirty work. You do all the
pretty
fun
much.
stuff.
Yeah.
You get down in the trenches.
It's pretty much
the nasty
it's
financial stuff.
Financial stuff, all the IT problems, any fun things like website design, which I found out you need vodka to design websites. So
for it to go smoothly.
Well, like for you not to destroy your own laptop. To be really honest, like, I've never done it before in my life, and it was something
It's horrendous.
It's not very pleasant to be truthful, and there are a lot of people out there who are quite happy to point out your mistakes as well.
Oh yes,
I'm always good for constructive criticism's good, but yeah. After 12 hours trying to get a web page to look the way you want to, you put it up to you spelt something wrong. It's like, But yeah, no, I sort of do the grunt work, shall we say, and just get all the finances. Make sure that Chris and our third partners, or Morgan, don't go too wild. Morgan's more the sort of film sort of side of thing guy.
Yeah.
He's really into his films. He used to produce his own sort of movies and stuff like that as well. So he does. He's been really, really helpful getting all that done. He also works offshore, so he's like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So it's like, when he's 2 weeks back, we're like, here, Morgan, you can do all this. So
Morgan does a lot of this kind of day-to-day responding to messages and emails and stuff.
Yeah, and the meetings that obviously myself and Chris can't get to as well. He's been really good.
Normal jobs. So he's kind of, and he's done a lot of this kind of liaising with the Transition Extreme and stuff, and kind of building on that relationship.
It's a receptionist. We would call him receptionist.
I was going to say personal assistant, but I don't think he'll like that.
No, I think, most likely just because he's not here. He is bigger than us. So. But
problem I know all too well.
But no, it's been really handy because there's the three of us as well. Anytime there's decisions to be made, it's a simple vote process, and it took us a wee while to go, okay, I've been overruled this time, but I'll get my own way next time. So. But it's worked out really well. Next year, I think when we're going to try and go a little bit bigger, a little bit better, a little bit longer. Maybe 2-day event or something as well.
Next
2-month event. Yeah. We'll just the whole of May is just going to be Granite City Comic Con.
It's not a sprint; it's a marathon, guys. Yeah. One thing I was actually going to ask was, when did you guys actually start planning this? Like, how long has this been?
2010, 2011?
We kind of talked about it for ages before we actually did anything and talked about, venues. And it was probably about this time last year, was it?
It would have been... I'm trying to think now.
This time last year. I mean, if you consider us starting to organise it as booking the venue, it would have been about this time last year. And the folk down at Transex have been great. They've been really supportive and really accommodating for all our demands. Of
them, there are many.
Yeah.
So, they've been absolutely brilliant. We couldn't really ask for a better venue. The guys there are really enthusiastic. Every time we went and had a meeting, they were like coming up with more and more ideas and stuff like that as well. So
they're really into the kind of comic stuff as well, and they're running their own wee things outside and everything.
And they're an Aberdeen charity as well. Got to remember about that as well. They are self-funding, so it helps them out. Brings a lot more people down there. Got a brand new skate park down there now as well. Just spent an absolute fortune doing up the skate park. Place is looking amazing, so hopefully it'll bring a lot of new business to them as well, and get them moving on as well. So cosplay skaters, yeah.
We had some hazards there.
Yeah. Well, the Halloween party was quite entertaining. We went down and just helped out with their Halloween party. And sort of looked into the skate park, and there's all these guys in full costume and helmets and stuff like that riding their BMXs.
That was pretty cool.
There were a bunch of guys dressed as stormtroopers in Union Square actually a couple of weekends ago.
No way. Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know what it was for, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Nice.
Join the dark side of this coffee.
It's been quite
cosmetics.
I mean, that's the thing as well. We initially started it off going, right, we'll we love comics and movies and stuff like that as well, and we wanted to do something like this. We always travel to like lots of other cons around the UK. And I was like, well, there's not one in Aberdeen. We'll get one up here. It means we don't have to travel. And I think travelling might have been less hassle, to be honest. But yeah,
I'm really getting tired of paying for to travel to these things.
Exactly. So we'll just pay for one to happen instead. It's a bit catch-22. But I mean, it's opened our eyes to a lot of the sort of Aberdeen scene, as it were. We've met loads of new folk, yourselves included, who are like, producing really good stuff and, just getting involved in it and that. And like the amount of folk within like what? A couple of weeks we had 10 cosplayers asking us, like, what can we do? Can we come and help? Can you come and take photographs?
It's
and
been
stuff,
kind of the community's kind of all pulled together.
Exactly.
For it
as well. That's been one of the best things about it is finding out that there are a lot of like-minded people out there. When, like I say, when we first conceived of this, we never thought it was going to grow the arms and legs that it has. And it's been great. It's been magic. Everyone's really sort of mega positive about it, and I think it's going to be a nice addition to the sort of city's calendar events and stuff.
It'd be awesome. I mean, I'm so glad you guys someone actually did it. It's actually if you didn't put about doing it. It's like we were saying, really, Aberdeen has like 3 comic book shops.
Yeah,
which is a huge amount for
compared to
totally. I mean, for the size of the city, it's sustaining 3 comic book shops. That's great. I mean, so the audience is out there,
And then I didn't quite realise it was quite such a big audience. It was like I added the Facebook. I'll put the Facebook page up this weekend. It's like how many folk? It was like, oh no. It's like,
because you were saying as well, like as Scotland's got such a really rich heritage in comic books.
Scotland, as far as it's always had a rich sort of history with comics as far as DC Thompson, Beano, Dandy, these sort of things. And that's obviously down in Dundee, but Scotland in general has produced a lot of rich talent over the years. We've mentioned before Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely, Miller's times 2.
Yeah.
And those brothers, no, they're not at all.
And then Nero as well.
Yeah, Monty Nero, who again you've got for the actual event, and I've met him briefly before in Dundee, and he's done Death Sentence.
He did a Hulk annual. He did a Hulk annual, and there was I think it was an annual again. It was the X-Men. I know it had Storm on the cover because I've got it.
Oh, it probably was X-Men then.
I can't remember which one it was either, to be honest.
He definitely did a Hulk annual, and there was an X-Men book. I can't remember if it was an annual or not. But Death Sentence is a cracking book, and the sequel looks like it's got to be even better.
Yeah, and I'm on his email chain, and he just sends like updates constantly of just what's happening.
He's got a really funny online presence. Actually, there's no like.
Did you see the one? It was last week, was it? He was sending out like cats that looked like Ron Perlman. And, he just going back and have a look at his Facebook page. He's got like he did just a week of posting photographs of cats that looked like celebrities, and it was rather entertaining. I mean, the Ron Perlman one really stood out. Actually, genuinely did look like Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman looked like a cat before until now.
No,
it was bizarre.
All the things Ron Perlman would look like, I didn't expect a cat. Got to be honest.
Yeah, I met Carl Urban.
Yes,
I just want to throw that out there. I met Carl Urban.
In possibly the most creepy way ever as well.
Yeah. What's he like? Is he pretty sound?
He just epitomised cool.
He looks like the kind of guy you can have a beer with and just he'd be really sound.
He was.
I don't deserve to talk to you.
About halfway through the Saturday, was it at the?
I was at a Star Trek convention, and
halfway through Saturday, I just got this text message coming through my phone. Carl Urban smells lovely. Step away from the stars, Chris.
And he did.
Was his post or pre-dread?
Post. So he did a panel at a Star Trek convention, and no one asked him a single question about Star Trek. Everyone just asked him about Dread. We've got loads of judge type folk coming to the event as well.
We've got about sort of 4 or 5. I say professional cosplayers, but that is they've got their full sort of like comic book judge outfits, and they're going to come and police the event for us. So
that's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it's like 5 guys from the UK Judges Forum.
There's a couple coming over from Europe as well.
Yeah. There's Judge Svensson from Scandinavia.
I don't know how they fit that on the badge.
It's probably Sven Hyphenson underneath.
So they're going to be coming along. They're going to be policing the whole day event. So if you got any questions, ask a judge.
Yeah.
It's what it's going to be. They're also going to be.
You get some great posters with that.
Well, they're in the works.
We've got an awesome one. One of the guys he calls himself Judge Lemmy. He's a local guy from Aberdeen.
Yeah, we saw that he was in the the stuff that was on like ITV and things.
That's
like that.
it. Yeah. He's a fantastic guy. He really does a lot for.
He's helped us out a lot actually. We've got kind of a cosplay crew that have done a lot of sort of promotional stuff with us. And because I mean, in terms of trying to promote these things, the media needs something visual, and in terms of comics, you don't get much more visual than a bunch of folk dressed up, those guys have always kind of, regardless of what we've asked them to do, they'll turn up, they're in costume, and it's been great.
It's been great. It has been good. I mean, it's like 8 guys, 6:30 right after their work, and they're all like coming down from work, and Hellgirl, the last year dressed up as Hellgirl, she's like painting their face red in the car on the way down. Putting their horns on and stuff.
Just dedication.
For next year, envisaging it being more. I mean, we talked about Thought Bubble, more of a kind of cultural thing as well. That maybe in the lead up, we'd have things like they do. They have at Thought Bubble with kind of workshops and guest talks or
panels,
whatever,
things like that.
Yeah. So I mean, even though this year's one is kind of only a couple of weeks away now, we're already kind of formulating plans for 2016.
We've already paid deposits.
Deposits of venues and everything. So
there's a little sneak preview for you as well. So it will be happening. So.
Well, that's one thing that we were actually talking about before. We were saying that it's almost like not to take away from guests or anything, because obviously you've gotten a lineup of guests, vendors, everything like that. But it's really positive just to see that it's actually just the idea that Aberdeen is getting a convention that is almost as, like you said, you got such a massive reception straight away, and you wouldn't have even had to have said what you intended to do, because it's the idea of everyone, a bunch of like-minded people all getting together.
Totally.
And it's really just a great sort of thing to be put out there.
And the other thing is with the cosplay, the response we had as well with folk coming back to it as well. We basically had to pull a cosplay competition out. We were thinking, there'll be guys in costumes. We might do like best costume or something like that. And we saw the actual guys, the feedback we were getting on the Facebook page about. We've got one thread. I think it's about 300-400 comments long on that page at the moment. Just people discussing their costumes and stuff. So.
I can't wait to see what folk are going to.
I know. Yeah, we've got Mark 1 Iron Man that's looking absolutely fantastic. His photographs.
Mark 1, like gigantic, like a big bullet costume.
There's a guy doing a Star-Lord costume, I think, as well.
Yeah,
so the helmet looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's one of our sort of.
No, there's another guy. There was one guy on Threads. He's been building up a Star-Lord as well. So it could possibly be 2 Star-Lords.
Face off.
Yeah.
I was going to say
dance off.
But it's like you said, you've got to get visual stuff out there. But the word of mouth of this has been really positive, and it's all over the place. Like people that I hadn't spoken to in ages in Leeds and Dundee and so on, you just had mentioned, you heard Aberdeen's getting a Comic-Con. And it's just a really positive thing to see that it's just everyone's being very, everyone's looking forward to it. It's a very positive thing, and it's just great to see that it's supported.
I think as well, I think with comic book conventions is they're not just about comic books now. They're about, it's like entertainment, movies.
Cosplay, like you said. Cosplay
games,
is something,
like you've got the guys from Reset coming in and stuff.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, we were just trying to think, what can we do that's going to be enjoyed by everyone as well. Not just keep it. I mean, we're obviously we've got a strong background in the comic side of things.
Yeah.
Chris being a producer himself as well. We wanted a lot of sort of indie presses there. We wanted to try and boost some of the sort of lesser known comic scene, shall we say?
Maybe try and raise the profile of a lot of the independent stuff that's going on around Scotland.
And Scotland does have quite a few sort of studios as well.
that
sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think you'll be possibly launching.
I'll have a new book out for the day. Yeah, it's I run a wee sort of a creators group every month called Silver City Comics, and we've kind of for the last year and a half we've been working on this little anthology of stories that kind of all link in together, and they're based around the city. So that I'll have that out for the day. As if I don't have enough to worry about, I'm going to publish a comic as well.
You know what? I don't have enough going on. Just throw more to it. But that's it's like you said. It's amazing the array that it's called a comic convention, but it's amazing the array that you actually get in this now, and it's just about getting things that pique people's interest and everyone can enjoy.
Totally, and I mean, when people say comic book convention, it can mean loads of different things now. I mean, you can mean anything from sort of your MCM, big, I don't want to say corporate, but bigger, less comic-y perhaps, more cosplay, more card games and anime and stuff. And then
San Diego Comic-Con's entertainment as well now, things like that. It's mostly,
So I don't know. We've been kind of careful and said it's a pop culture event.
Well, exactly.
Is how we've kind of always pitched it, rather than being, because
we don't want to go too hard lines. Sort of.
There's a tagline there.
Yeah.
Judges at the door is like, "What's your favorite comic book character?" No.
It's like that's 10 years in the cubes, but but yeah, no, there'll be. That's the thing. We didn't want to really lean too far into one side of the thing. We try to cover everything. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's we've got it's Transex this year. It's absolutely rammed. We've managed to try to put tables everywhere we possibly could in there to try and get as many folk. We've got loads of anime sellers, guys that we know very little about, to be honest.
Yeah, we're not really manga anime guys.
So we've had to sort of call on some of the vendors to say, right, what do you suggest, and what would you guys like to go do it? And always keeping an eye on the Dundee, the Decon and all the other conventions.
Because that's very sort of anime manga focused.
And that was when we were writing the cosplay rules, for example. We actually had to put in a little section. It's like, maybe best if you bring a photograph of your cosplay character along. Not you in your costume, but of actually who you're meant to be representing.
So we know what you're meant to be.
If they're so obscure, you got something to actually compare them to.
Exactly, yeah, and we're going to have a sign up as well, so they've got to get a bit of information about them as well, so we can judge for everyone fairly, hopefully, and see if that's going to be,
we haven't had our eyes on the competitive circuit that long.
Exactly, yeah.
How many categories do you have in the cosplay?
It's just the three. We've got 4-ish. We've got Wii cosplayer, which is 12 and under. So for the kids and yourself. But,
How long have you been in there?
I'm gonna try and sneak my way and I'll just shave.
Yeah. So we've got one for the kids. We've got some of these awesome trophies. I don't know if you saw them in the press event. The hammers that we got made from a guy, Mean Signs, I think it is.
Yeah, he's a Dundee guy.
Dundee guy as well. Yeah. So we've got that. We've got the best cosplayer, which is just generic. Whoever we pick best cosplayer, and then we've got best group cosplay, which is just anything 2 or more people in a themed cosplay. So if there's a couple of Star Lord and a
Gamora or something,
then you can join in and do that. We're not really looking. There's a lot of places do things like skits, and you have to do a little performance and stuff like that. Not really looking into that side of things.
This guy comes in with a script, like no.
Exactly. Yeah, we were just trying to mainly make it more of a fun event and just have a laugh. And it's basically there's judging categories there just to keep everything on the level and make sure everyone knows what we're going to be looking for. But generally, it's how well you put across your cosplay. Yeah. If you fit the cosplay, or if you just you play it up or whatever, there's always a good Deadpool that plays up as well.
Imagine there'll be whole squads of Deadpools.
Yeah, and that's it. And then on top of that, we've got Sorenzo. Sorenzo Props is a guy from Glasgow. That's really.
I've seen a lot of pictures. You post a lot of sort of content and pictures.
Yeah. I'm a massive fan. I do my sort of amateur sort of prop building just myself, just for fun more than anything else, more of a hobby than anything. And he's sort of been a real inspiration. He sort of quit his daytime job, went, no, I'm going to do this full time, and his stuff's really high quality. So he's been producing that, and he's basically been making a living out of it for a couple of years now. And he's obviously promoting quite a lot of cosplay events down in Glasgow and Edinburgh in the form of CosCon, who are doing our after party for us. Obviously, we're going to have our evening event, so we handed the after party over to CosCon so they could carry on with that, and we can actually have some folk there. But Sorenzo's going to be judging he's going to be the final judge at the cosplay competition. So at least we're in safe hands there, I think. So yeah.
He's an expert, don't blame us.
Exactly, yeah, just passing. It's like shunting the blame onto someone else more than anything else. Yeah, but no, really looking forward to it as well. So I'll be on the cosplay table with Sorenzo throughout the day for sign up, and just if there's any questions or anything like that. So down in the main foyer, I think we're going to be having that one as well. So.
And then we're kicking off the parade at about 4 o'clock.
About 4, half 4, yeah. So what he's going to do is sign up until about 2 o'clock. 2 till 4, we'll just we're going to break away from the table and actually go and have a look and speak to some of the cosplayers, see how they built their costumes, how they did all this sort of stuff, and then we get a better idea of what we're judging and such. Like we'll pick small groups for the finalists, and then we'll go for that way. We can't have everyone up. We currently don't have a stage, but we're working on it. But, we can't have everyone up at the end, otherwise we'll be there until midnight. So it's
You've got like about eight guests on the panel as well, haven't you?
The movie guests are Shane Rimmer, who is Shane Rimmer's been in loads of stuff.
Yeah.
He was
he's been in tons of stuff.
Bond, Star Wars. He was in Batman Begins.
He's in
a few things we might have heard of.
Yeah.
He was in something else as well. I can't remember.
He was on telly. Something.
Not Doctor Strangelove.
He was in Doctor Strangelove as well. So he's a bit.
And he was he was the voice of Scott Tracy in Thunderbirds.
That's right.
Yeah, the entire Thunderbirds.
Yeah. You forget that he's done all this amazing stuff, and so we've got the panel event will be sort of the comic book guys and then the movie guys. So we've got Shane Rimmer and Paul Blake, who is Greedo in Star Wars. Do the two of them together, and we'll do a wee sort of Star Wars.
I take it he's not dressed as Greedo.
I don't think so.
No, I don't know.
How many people are going to ask him that same question?
Yeah.
So which one is he? He's like, no,
it's going to be a show of hands, and they're going to go, not that question. Everyone's going to put their hands down.
It's just his cards with answers.
Yeah.
I'm currently building a DL-44, the Han Solo blaster. I wonder if he's going to be cheeky if I get him to sign this or not.
Well, I mentioned to my friend Greedo was going to be there, and he was just, what did you say? Greedo. And he just went mental.
Yeah, he's a thoroughly nice chap as well.
He's got quite a good laugh. Yeah. So the two of them will be sort of the movie part of the panel, and then our sort of comic book guests will have a panel with them.
Who've got on that? We've got Jim Alexander, Alan Grant, Gary Erskine, Monty Nero. And the sort of the theme of that is going to loosely be 2000 AD, because they've all they've all kind of been tertiary, either really involved with 2000 AD or have an involvement with 2000 AD. And we will be surrounded by judges.
And they'll be surrounded by judges, and we're putting on a Judge Dredd film.
Exactly.
So it kind of makes sense to go down that way. But I mean, Alan Grant is a real sort of scoop for us as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a big one.
I mean, when you think about the Batman stuff he's created, and it was funny. Somebody was
he did the architectural run. I remember as well. Had to use that for a dissertation. It's all about the architecture of Gotham.
Nice.
It was Anarchy, I think, that he created. Anarchy with a K.
Yeah,
and I think the makers of the Arkham games had sent him a toy of it. And he wasn't impressed.
No,
that's not the Anarchy I created. You know,
I love those games as well.
But yeah, he's awesome. I've met him a couple of times before, and like I say, when you think of this, the contribution that he's made to massive sort of comic book franchises, it's I'm blown away by the guy, to be honest. I think he's great.
Was he pretty hard to get, or?
Not particularly. Again, it was kind of a friend sort of thing that knew him, so it didn't just kind of put us in touch. One of the most important things I feel about the whole Scottish comics thing is connecting people, and going and doing these events and being part of that kind of the scene, as it were. I mean, Jim Alexander.
He's been a real great help as well.
We met him at pretty much the first convention that we went to. It was in Glasgow.
It was a Glasgow one,
and he kind of, and at that point I was sort of starting to write my own comics and stuff, and he kind of took us under his wing a wee bit.
Yeah, because we went to the talk and you just took over.
Yeah, we went to a writer's workshop, and I'd had a few, and I kind of took over the workshop, and me and Jim became friends.
It was everybody give me some room.
It was about like 12 or 13 people sitting there listening to Chris and Jim Alexander have a chat, basically. So it was, but it was a really good. I mean, he was after that he came out, had a couple of beers with us, chatted away, and stuff like that as well. I
mean, we kind of remained friends after that. So when when we said we were doing this, he was like, "Yeah, definitely, I'll be there." So and he's again kind of contributed quite a lot in terms of he wrote, what was it, Black Canary stuff for DC.
Did a lot of 2000 ADs.
Yeah, a lot of Dredd
Cal
stuff.
Hab and
the Cal Hab. Yeah, he's got a pal coming dressed as a Cal Hab judge as well, which is going to be cool. But again, his kind of independent small press stuff. He's hugely prolific with it. He's new books out all the time.
So try to push that stuff as well. Try and get it.
Wasn't he got some sort of, they did some sort of TV show based on around one of his books.
Yeah, Michael Biehn was the star. It was the Metal Hurlant stuff. They made a TV show out of was it, I can't remember the name, Whiskey Glass or something like that.
Whiskey Jar.
Whiskey Jar. Yeah. but yeah, Jim's great. Again, it's just someone that we've met and kind of kept in touch with, and like I say, meeting these people and keeping in touch is that builds the community. So
exactly, yeah. Even for this year as well, like I mean, Blackhearted Press are putting on a wee talent.
Yeah, they're doing
as well.
Talent search, and they're a small press mob from Glasgow who've done who've had some pretty big selling books. They've got an Alan Grant and Alan Grant, John Wagner book coming out pretty soon as well.
Yeah, so there's a chance to get into the comic book industry. It's like
any sort of tips or anything for anyone going to a convention for the first time? Like in terms of, obviously they're going to need cash. Be prepared to wait in lines.
Yeah, there probably will. I mean, normally it's like we went to. It depends on the con you go to. It's like generally speaking, if there's a famous person there, you're going to queue for them. It's probably going to be really busy as well. It's like some of the ones we went to in like pubs down in Edinburgh and Glasgow. It's like just like rammed up, absolutely jam packed. But it's be patient. Everyone's there for the same reason. Just be nice to everyone and have a good time. That's the main thing for it.
Like I say, everyone's there for the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a like-minded event, which is great. So there's everyone there is there for the same reason, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah,
and there's going to be so many people by the looks of it.
Yeah,
we're going to. I mean, obviously, the queuing is going to be part of it. I'm afraid we've tried to do as much as we can to mitigate that, but
but I think any event, if you don't think you're going to queue, then you're in the wrong place.
it's kind of a sign it's successful.
There's a queue.
Well, that's it. We'd rather have a few folk having to queue for a wee while. Excuse me. Then the place be empty, and it's never good for the vendors. It's never good for the people who are there. If you've got a lot of folk, it's going to have a good vibe. Just be patient.
Transacts are putting on things outside, so even if you are queuing, you'll be entertained while you queue. Put it that way,
Yeah, especially if there's judges walking around everywhere. That tends to be enough.
That's it. And they don't take very much encouragement, to be honest. Like,
they're the lobbying character as well, the whole time. So
you can't tell if they're actually. It's like I don't know if he's done something wrong or if this is an act. It's like, what's going on? It's like I don't know. I am just whisked away.
They tend to just they actually collect perps, shall we say, during the day as well. The amount of folks you'll just be wandering past, and you'll just see two judges with somebody down on their knees, and big truncheons on the go and that as well. So
what are those cubes for?
That's brilliant. What are your sort of thoughts for the future and stuff? I mean, you don't want to give away too much, but
obviously it's about this slow release, like trickle of information. You don't want to be like, this is all of our cards.
Well, that's it. It's like we're just going to try and keep as many cards to our chest as we can. But like I say, we're just wanting to grow the event, and we want to turn it into something that folk will look forward to every year. Make sure they have a good time, and it'll basically be something in the calendar, and hopefully just encourage more people to get into it and make other things happen.
And like I said, it will most likely be a longer event over a couple of days, and it's only going to be a larger venue, and we'll have sort of the thought bubbly kind of cultural stuff in the lead into it. Because I mean, as much as it's great that we're calling it a pop culture event, it kind of means quite a lot to me that comic books are not seen as sort of a throwaway media.
They're very much at the center of it rather than being an offshoot of it.
Exactly. So doing that kind of culture-y stuff in the lead up, we'll start making announcements about that.
Preserving the tradition of what it's about.
We've met so many folk doing this, so we're really going to be
spreading the net.
Exactly, spread the net a bit further for next year as well. Now we've got our foot in the door. Folk can know who we are as well. And hopefully, if this goes off without a hitch, touch wood, then next year is going to be an awesome event, even bigger and better. So
it's brilliant. Do you guys have anything that we've missed and that you want to say to anyone?
Just
any
come
secret
along,
information you want to fire out?
have a good time.
Just generally come along, have a good time, enjoy yourselves. If you've got any suggestions, feel free to go and shout on this. We'll be Comic-Con t-shirts on the day and such like, so we should be easily identifiable. I'll mostly be down at the front desk at the for most of the day as well.
I'll be up in the main vendor hall as well, so we'll all be kicking about, and Morgan's going to be through in the.
Morgan's going to be everywhere.
He's our floater.
He's going to be keeping basically
walkie-talkies on.
Master of puppets, shall we say? But it's. I mean, we've had suppose just say thank you to everyone who's actually helped out as well.
Yeah.
And obviously the other halves who are going slightly insane about the Comic-Con as well. We've had put a lot of work into this over the last year, and it's just been.
I don't even know if my girlfriend still recognises me.
No, it's I'm much the same, to be honest.
She recognises the top of my head behind a laptop.
So she recognises you by your hair, basically.
Well,
That's it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, do you want to wrap up?
But thanks again, guys.
No worries.
very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
And we'll hopefully see you on the 30th.
Yeah,
We
will.
No, we're not contractually bound.
This is all a ruse.
Awesome.
Cool.